Base, do you currently struggle with your weight? Are you at your dream body weight, your happy weight? Do you have your dream body? Furthermore, have you ever tried using a vision board in order to create your dream body, in order to manifest exactly what you want? Okay, so if your answer was yes to any one of those questions, that you struggle with your weight, that you're struggling to achieve your dream body, that you have tried using a vision board to get to your goal. And then, even if you have not, I'm here today to show you what's possible when it comes to achieving your dream body and creating a vision board. So, welcome to Build Bar Community. It is almost the year 2026. This is the perfect time when people start to create their New Year's resolutions, when people are doing vision boards and having vision board parties. And to be quite honest, most of us have maybe heard about one of these things or has done one of these things before. But then what happens in the middle of the year? Sometimes not even the middle, sometimes it's earlier than that. You might recognize that that vision board gets tucked in the corner away somewhere very far from your site, or simply that you're nowhere close to your goal, and before you know it, half of the year has already flown by. Maybe 2025 is that year for you, but I'm here to tell you that if this has happened to you before, it's because you're missing a few steps. And today I'm going to go over those steps because I have used a vision board to achieve my dream body, and I want to give you my 3-step method that has helped me to do that. Okay. So by the end of this conversation, you'll have 3 easy steps that's going to help you to achieve your dream body by the end of 2026, guaranteed, especially if you actually follow these steps. Okay. So I'm going to let you in on the very first step. The very first step is what you need to know. So I have my handy dandy handheld whiteboard here. Here's what you need to know. What you need to know is my 3-step method. I'm going to give you all 3 steps right up front, and then we're going to talk about each one of them. Okay, so here's my 3-step method. I'm not even going to have you wait to the end of this video. But let me be very clear, is that if you don't understand this 3-step method and how I did it, then it's very possible by the end of 2026, if your dream goals, your body goals are on your New Year's resolution list, or you're doing a vision board, that you will not get there. It'll just be another year of failure. Okay. My 3-step method is called Be, Do, Have. Be, do, have. Now, you might have heard of this method before, but we're going to break it down step by step. So, what you need to know is that in order to have any of the things that's on your vision board, right, or anything that's on your New Year's resolution list, much less having your dream body, is that you need this 3-step method. Be, do, have. We're going to start with the very first word, which is be. So, it is really important that you know that the very first step to having and achieving your body goals is to become it before having it. It's the first step, hence why it's be, do, have. The very first step in the method is to become the vision that you have for yourself already. So let's dive a little deeper into this, because this didn't actually click for me until way later. I mean, way later, meaning after having created over 5 vision boards with a bunch of pictures on it, all to which there was no avail most of the time, until as of late when I started to understand this process. Okay. So you have to become the thing that you want first. The very first course of action and creation comes from our mentality. This is a mental step. We need to get into a mental state, not just of understanding what it takes to actually have your dream body, right? Because it's pretty obvious that we need to work out and that we need to eat well in order to have, or in order to achieve our body goals, right? Like, those are still necessary steps that need to happen. We're not just going to wake up one morning with our dream body without having done anything, right? But We have to actually get into the mindset first, not of just like, oh, I know that I have to go to the gym, or I know that I have to have certain diet restrictions. That may not even be the case for you. That's not the only way to achieve your dream body. In fact, it's not how I achieved mine. I'm going to show you exactly what happened for me. If you look on the far left here, okay, this is at a point where I considered myself overweight. I was probably 20 pounds over what my current weight is right now, which I'm happy with, right? My happy weight. I was 20 pounds over my happy weight. Now, let me be really clear. I don't need anyone to slight my efforts here, because what tends to happen, and I would like for everyone to be mindful about this, because you'll also be on the recipient end of this at some degree if you are struggling with your weight, whether it's 5 pounds overweight or whether it's 100. Doesn't matter. Okay. But it doesn't make anyone feel any better when you see their overweight pictures, or someone tells you that they were unhappy with their weight in certain areas of their life, and then you go, oh, but it's not that bad, or you weren't that overweight, or you're not overweight at all, so what, you have a little belly. Let me tell you why this is a slight for people real quick. This is a slight because it takes away all of the effort that that person put in to be at their happy weight. So no one knows that at this point, even though I'm obviously smiling in this picture and enjoying the moment on the beach in Miami, that I was extremely unhappy with my weight, not only because of how I felt in my bathing suit, how I looked at this picture, how I felt going up a flight of stairs, okay, wearing certain sizes in clothing that I would prefer not to. These are all personal things for me, right? Because we're the only persons that can live inside of our bodies. So when you look at another person and you're really just comparing either yourself and where you are to where that person is, that's called a projection. And we don't want to project how we feel about someone else's weight onto them. The same way we don't walk around calling people fat anymore. Well, I hope you don't. But that actually used to be a thing, right? Fat shaming. And there's this thing that tends to happen, especially with women, where we want to comfort and nurture each other, or just people generally, right? So we want to make things seem like they're not that bad. Please do not minimize someone's feelings about their journey, especially when it comes to their weight. No shot, no shade to anyone. I would just want you to be mindful and be aware that this can happen either to you on the recipient end, or you may do it to others. I was unhappy at this point. I did not feel good in my body. I did not feel good in my clothes. Okay. I was at a high state of ignorance about what it actually took to feel really good in my body and to be at a happy weight. So that's the left side of this. The next is what I did when I decided to make a change. So that's the picture in the middle. So here I am showing you a part of my vision board. I am highlighting the space where I am speaking directly about health and feeling directly about health to manifest this. Okay. So, what tends to happen with vision boards is that we'll cut out pictures or images and paste it to a board, right? If you could kind of see the nuances around the board, I have a lot less photos and images that I've cut out of magazines, which is originally how I was taught to make a vision board. And I started to write more words and affirmations because, quite frankly, it's really, really important that your vision board is personalized. It has to be from you. So even if you are using photos and images that you're cutting out of magazines or you're grabbing them from somewhere else, it's really, really important that it is you. It resonates deeply with you. And so one of my goals is still to be in a women's fitness magazine, just like the image here. This woman was in a fitness magazine that I found. Okay. And she's given success strategies on how to be fit. So, along with following those success strategies out at the bottom, I also had this image of what I wanted my body to look like. This made sense to me. So, I added it to my vision board. And as you can see, the third picture on the left is fairly close. Okay. It's how my body looks at my happy weight, which is the would be the closest equivalent to that image that I cut and pasted out and put on my board. Okay. So as you can see, going from point A to point C, there's a drastic difference, right? So again, this is why it's important not to minimize your journey or anyone else's journey as to what they consider their happy weight, because we want to all feel good about ourselves. We want to feel good inside and out. Okay. So now let's talk about one more thing that you absolutely need to know about becoming the version of yourself that already has what you're putting on your vision board. So currently, you might look at yourself and say, well, I am overweight. That is a fact and that is true. I don't feel good inside of my clothes. I don't feel good inside of my body. I am running out of breath when I'm going up the stairs. My thighs rub together and creates holes in my jeans. I can hardly find my size when I go shopping, or I'm embarrassed to pick up this size while I'm going shopping. Whatever your story is, I feel you. And I want you to know that that can change. Weight can always change. Thank God. Okay. So we could be grateful, and you could be certain that you can actually change and transform as well, because we all can. Okay. So the next thing that you need to know in terms of becoming is that it's very, very important that you feel. Okay. You have to absolutely feel that your transformation is true for you. And this was a missing component for me as I was creating my vision boards over time. Like I told you, I have created multiple vision boards with a lot of things on the vision boards to no avail. First of all, I no longer believe in putting all of my life's um all of my life goals on one board, on a vision board, unless you're never going to change that board. If you're going to create one board with all of the images, keep that board until you actually manifest each one of those things on a board. I don't believe that you need to create multiple vision boards unless you knock everything out the park and now you got new visions. Okay. Sometimes you might want to update it, especially if you have accomplished a majority of the things on your vision board, and so you want to condense it and create a new one. But otherwise, you don't need to keep creating new vision boards. Keep the one that you have and continue to work towards manifesting what's on there instead of changing it. Okay, unless there's a drastic change, then that's fine. Now, one of the key things I was missing was that I was cutting out these pictures, but I wasn't feeling them. Like I said before, the images have to resonate and they have to be you. And when I say that, I mean there needs to be emotion behind them. So for me, when I saw this woman in this magazine, I already had the idea and the emotion that uh, um, I wanted to be inside of a women's health magazine. I wanted to be super fit. So I had already had emotion about this. Now this image matched the emotion that I had. I would love to pose or be a model for Nike and pose in their clothing. And I know in order to do that, that I definitely need to be a model that's representative of that brand. Okay. Now that doesn't mean that I need to have a six pack, because Nike definitely sells plus size and have plus size model, right? So that wasn't it. I don't want to be a plus size model. I wanted to be the kind of model that I wanted to be. I wanted to be like this woman that I see here that is wearing, she's actually in Under Armour. I still have my vision board here, so that's why I leaned over to look. She's actually an Under Armour model, but she's specifically speaking about success strategies for women's health and fitness. And I said, oh, that's exactly what I want to do. right? So this image actually already matched an emotion that I had. It wasn't something that I saw and I was like, oh, yeah, that would be nice, right? You already have the emotion of what it feels like to fit in your clothing, what it feels like to be in your body, what it feels like to move in your body, right? For my moms out there that used to be a certain size and now you got kids and that changed, you have a lot of emotion about that between your body then and now, right? If you've struggled with your weight for a very long time, if you live with a family who eats whatever, and so you feel like you have no choice and no control over what you eat, it doesn't matter what your story is. What I'm telling you is that the way that you feel right now has already created an emotion that matches the transformation that you want to have. It's the very catalyst and the motivation that's going to move you towards your goal. Okay. So you want to find images or create images that matches who you actually want to become, and you want to feel that to your depths. You don't just want to know it in your mind. You want to feel it to the depths of your core. So that might mean if you find an image in a magazine or create an image and it's something like this body here, that maybe you do attach your face to it, right? Maybe you Photoshop your face into it so that now you can see yourself. Maybe it does mean that you create affirmations that actually feel resonant to you of the person you're becoming. I'm becoming a person who understands the value of working out and eating properly so that I can achieve my dream body and happy weight, right? Maybe that means you actually buy the size clothing that you want to fit into, even though you don't fit into it right now. Now, that might sound crazy, but it's really not. Okay. And trust me, as I'm a personal trainer and a physical fitness coach, right? As a physical fitness coach, I help women do this all the time. And I watch women who struggle with their weight, especially in the early stages of um of their journey. And this doesn't mean that it's your first time starting. Especially with fitness, we tend to have this start stop, right? We start working out, we stop working out, we start working out, we stop working out, and every time it feels like we're starting over again, and it's just as challenging the next time that we start. But the thing is, y'all, is that when the weight starts to fall off, and I know this very well for myself, and I've heard it. I've even heard it this year, and I love speaking to one of my class members and clients who started one of my fitness challenges. And even after the challenge ended, she didn't stop the behaviors. She didn't stop the habits, which we'll get into in a few, of what it was going to take to get her to her happy weight. And then guess what, y'all? Her pants started to not fit her current pants. So much so that she need to get new pants because not even a belt would do. She doesn't know that I constantly see her figure and I'm inspired and excited for her as I see more muscle definition coming about and coming into play for her. Okay. I was literally this week just looking at her back, admiring all of the back muscles that I can see coming to fruition that she months ago was speaking of and referencing, but at a time where she didn't have it yet physically to where she can see it in the mirror or to where she felt good about herself. Okay. Months later, because she did the work, now she can actually be a testimony to the changes. All right. Now, that was one emotion that she had in the beginning of the stages of when she really started to drop the weight. But the feeling that she knew deep down of where she wanted to be, one of the things that she used for herself was a dress that she wanted to fit into for a what's the one of the either a high school or a college reunion. So she used one of the occasions. Maybe you have an occasion coming up, right? To which you would like to wear something particular. And not only do you want it to fit, but you want to feel boom, bang, and pow in it, right? When you step out into that dress, when you step out into that outfit, honey, you want to feel good about yourself. You want to feel confident. Well, guess what? It's not that outfit that's going to make you feel that way. It's you who makes you feel that way. You embody the emotions and the feelings, and then the clothes matches your vibration with it, right? You could put on clothes at your happy weight that you still don't like. It's not because you're not confident in the clothes. You don't like the clothes. It's not the clothes that makes you. You make the clothes, honey. So I need you to embody the feelings of what you're putting on your vision board. That's really, really, really important. Now that we have the mindset, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can meet body my body goals. Yes, I can achieve my dream body. Yes, I can be at my happy weight. I need every one of you who has a limiting belief that you cannot do those things to replace that belief and anything that you tell yourself about you can't do it and all of the reasons why. All of those excuses have to go. They are excuses. They are excuses. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm your coach. I'm going to be honest with you. It's an excuse. How you want to do it is one thing. Like maybe you prefer to go to a gym. You don't have to. Just because you prefer to doesn't mean that you have to. Okay. Maybe you believe that you don't have time to achieve your dream body weight. It's another excuse that's going to stop you from actually getting to your body weight. The mindset is important, and we have to put ourselves into that mindset already. So, what is the mindset of the person who actually already achieved the happy weight? What is the mindset of the version of yourself who has already achieved their happy weight? I am a person who works out consistently. I am a person who's mindful of what they eat. I am a person who indulges in what I love, but I do it mindfully, right? Like if you love food, it's not about getting rid of all of these foods that um will continue to keep you at your unhappy weight. I have learned because of my continuing studies, because of my persistence, that you can still have the foods that you love, but it's just a swap of ingredients, actually, not the swap of the whole food, the swap of the ingredients that's important. There's synthetic ingredients in a lot of foods, especially shelved products, and they will actually lead to weight gain. And so while you're thinking you can't have mac and cheese anymore, for example, right? A very starchy, simple carb with a lot of dairy, which creates inflammation. How about you just swap out the type of macaroni you're buying for a healthier brand and choice, as well as the cheese too? Where are you getting your products from? Because it's not the food itself. It's not the type of food, it's the type of ingredients. Did you know that? We want to become aware so that we can learn about how to achieve the things that we want in life. Your body goals is included. So you can absolutely get to your happy weight. You can absolutely achieve your dream body. You want to switch your mindset, and you also want to feel into the version of yourself that has already achieved it. Who has already achieved it. You need to switch your mindset, eliminate all excuses that you cannot do something. Start asking how. How can I do this? Instead of limiting yourself and saying that you can't, start asking how you can do it. And then also ensure that you're embodying the feeling like, yes, I can do it. Yes, I will do it. Yes, I will have it. Yes, I do have it. Speaking of do, next is do, right? Do is the next step. Well, do is the first step. I actually, when we started this conversation, we spoke about what you must know. You must know that you need to be the version of yourself who already has the outcome. Then you take action. Then you can do the action. You need to become that version of yourself first. Then that version of yourself is already going to do the action. And so this is another misconception that I used to have about vision boards, is that I could just put all of these images on this board and that they'll just fall into my lap. Obviously, your dream body cannot fall into your lap, right? We actually need to do something. So those things that you already know about being at your happy weight and having your dream body, they're still true. Yes, you do want to find moderate to high intensity workouts, 150 minutes per week, somewhere in your weeks, every week, consistently. That is still the case. Yes, you do want to be mindful about your nutrition. Okay. What does that mean? Does that mean that I need to eliminate the foods that I love? No, not always. Okay. It means that you need to swap out certain ingredients so that you can still enjoy the foods that you love. And you could, majority of the time, indulge in those foods that's going to help you to get to your body goals. So, what happens on occasion for me, as you can see in this third image here, this doesn't mean that I've eliminated all the foods that I love. In fact, I haven't eliminated any foods that I love. What I did eliminate, though, is synthetic ingredients that lead to weight gain, such as white table sugar. Okay. So if I choose to buy a coffee and I want to have that coffee light and sweet, I am using either oat milk, or sometimes I'll use a organic cream as much as I can. And then I would use a raw cane sugar, right? Or organic sugars, organic brown sugars. And what's great about those is that you don't even have to use a lot, right? So I swap out white table sugars for every other sweetener that's closer to being a healthier choice. And I don't obsess over this either, because obviously when you go out to eat, like I do on occasion, I'm not talking to the waiter about what's in certain things. There are people that's like that. If you're one of those individuals, that's perfectly fine. It's just not my lifestyle. That is not how I want to live all of my life, especially knowing that a majority of the time I'm eating healthy because I'm preparing my own food. I'm buying my own groceries. I'm reading labels in a grocery store before I'm making my purchase. I'm bringing these things home. And then I'm the one preparing my food. Also, be on the lookout. I'm definitely looking into cooking more and recording more content on the things that I'm making. I'm not the best cook nor baker, but I am becoming the version of myself who's even more mindful about ingredients and nutrition, so that I could live my healthiest quality lifestyle. Okay. Food is important because food is medicine. So it's not just about taking away the things that's bad. It's also about how you can optimize nutrition that's really good for you. So for me, for example, instead of eating whole wheat or grain breads, because I swapped to from white breads to wheat breads, but I noticed in the ingredients that they're still using synthetic ingredients. Sh- Bread is able to live on the shelf for as long as it does, because they have to put certain ingredients into the breads in order for it to do that. Now, there are some brands of breads don't don't remove the entire wheat germ out of breads, which is what spoils, right? Which what causes the bread to spoil, without adding additional ingredients in them, so that it can keep on the shelf longer. And you'll see a lot of times those things have a smaller space, so they're not going to be the Nature's Valley that you're aware of, right? Like that brand uses a lot of synthetic ingredients. But then somewhere on either the bottom shelf or the top shelf, I've talked about this before when grocery shopping. Let me know down in the comments if you would like me to do grocery shopping content. I will. That you need to look not just eye level, but you want to look at the top of the shelves and you want to look at the bottom of the shelf, And when you're looking at the labels, you'll find that you can choose healthier options. But I am looking forward to actually making my own bread, Ezekiel bread to be exact. There's it's nutrient dense. Our bodies are craving fuel, and it gets the high quality fuel from high quality ingredients, just like a car, right? Okay. So if we're driving a Maserati, you cannot go to the gas station and put regular gas in a Maserati. Okay. It'll completely ruin the car. It will be undrivable. So if you think of your body as a high quality vehicle, which it is, you want to make sure you're putting high quality fuel inside of your body. And so I look forward to baking. That's going to be interesting. Y'all get to watch me bake on camera. Y'all get to watch me mess up. You get to watch me taste it first time and to let you know if it's a go or if it's a no. But again, this is not about having a rigid process. I actually feel really good about this. So I'm not doing it like, oh man, now I was buying this Nature Valley's bread and I'm seeing all these synthetic ingredients and now I have to make my own bread because I don't trust the brands in the stores. I can go to Whole Foods and I'm pretty sure that I can find healthier options to for breads. Okay? I'm pretty sure I can buy fresh bread, right? I can buy fresh Ezekiel bread and just do that. No, I look forward to actually baking at home. I look forward to creating content and baking at home and knowing that I am in control of what goes into my own body. All right. So, I just wanted to let you know that that is something that I'm looking forward to. And I also wanted to show you and demonstrate the feeling that I have behind the mindset because, again, that's important. And so now the action that I'm going to take is to purchase the flour ingredients in order to create Ezekiel bread and make it, right? Maybe I'll even purchase already made Ezekiel bread and then I'll do a compare and contrast, right? Between the two. Do I prefer to continue to buy them or do I want to continue to make it? Because if making it is hard and time consuming, I'm not going to do it. I'll tell you that right now. I'm too busy. So this is about making the right choices for your lifestyle, and that requires action. Now, it's nothing that you want about your dream body is going to fall into your lifestyle. It's just going to fall into your lap. Even the person that I was referencing before, the member who has made an amazing transformation in such a short amount of time, where she's falling out of her clothing, where she's building more strength, where you can see definition in her muscles. She works incredibly hard in the gym. She works incredibly hard at home on her Peloton bike. I am aware of this. I have testimonials of her doing this. She is quite amazing and relentless to her workout. And she's also made changes in her diet. Like she's gone from drinking a lot of red wine to drinking almost no wine, if I'm not mistaken. At least since the challenge, she's stayed away from alcohol. And I'm pretty sure that aside from just the physical results that she's been experiencing from doing that, that she's also experiencing more energy, that she's also experiencing other internal things because she's made that change. Okay. So we need to do things, is what I'm saying. But now you can do. Now that you understand that you need to become the version of self who already has the transformation, what does that person do? They actually might stay away from certain things, especially if they're going to be tempted by it. I am I have such a big sweet tooth, y'all. And so, by the way, Mamba's here. I have a big old dog. If you guys hear her barking in the background, know that she's okay. My mom might come home soon, and so she might she might go crazy for her to greet her. I have a big sweet tooth. Okay. So if you leave uh Chips Ahoy, especially the soft joints, if those are in the house, geez, I'm already taking a deep breath and I just paused and like got tight. I could feel in my body the temptation that comes from that because I'm already aware of all the synthetic ingredients in that. I'm already aware that that is going to be a temptation for me because it's going to be so easy to partake in the consumption of those cookies. Okay. But guess what? I don't keep those things in my house. And thankfully, even though I live with a family, they don't go out and intentionally buy it. Now, sometimes junk food does show up in my house. Sometimes I am tempted to have it. And I am in a space now where I can just have a quick conversation with myself and let it go. In the beginning of your journey of becoming aware of ingredients that lead to weight gain, and if your goal is to lose weight, you do want to stay away from those pre-made things that have ingredients in it that's going to increase your weight instead of decrease your weight, right? I know that if I want chocolate chip cookies, that will require me to bake them myself, and that actually feels pretty good to me. Like I don't bake, so that's new for me. I hope that they would come out pretty good. My niece is coming over for the holidays. Maybe that's something that we can actually do together is we can buy healthier ingredients, right? There's even healthier flours, right? So ingredients that you want to watch out for is bleached flour and enriched products. Okay? So buying unbleached flours, opting into those brands are important. I would love to actually purchase those ingredients and to try baking with them. Okay? And making my own cookies and still having what I love, just the healthier option. So I don't have to worry about messing up the results that you see here on this screen on the right side. I'd like to keep my belly flat as possible, not just for the appearance, but because I understand that visceral fat leads to ailments, leads to cancers, and leads to a lot of other intestinal diseases that are made in products like Chips Ahoy. Sorry, Keebler, come for me if you want. Okay. So that would be the action that I would take. I would buy the proper ingredients and I would actually bake healthier cookies and never remove cookies from my diet. I'd have a healthier option and still not have to worry about it leading to weight gain, especially if I'm having it in moderation, right? Like this is now still if you made 20 cookies and you ate all 20 cookies, it is going to lead to weight gain, right? Because we still need to be mindful about calories and stay in a caloric deficit. That's how you lose weight. Like none of those things change, y'all. Those things don't change. That's the way that it is. You're aware, you know that, but it doesn't mean that you have to completely remove cookies from your diet. You could have 3 cookies, and maybe those 3 cookies that you made, you'll know how many calories is in it because you have the ingredients, you made it. You might know that those 3 cookies are 90 calories. And guess what? The 90 calories that's in those 3 cookies versus the 500 calories that are in Chips Ahoy cookies that has an ingredient that also causes us to not want to stop eating it. Natural flavor. You know what? I am going to do content on this because I want y'all to know this. I learned this and I think is really important. But there is actually a chemical inside of, for example, Keebler's Chips Ahoy that causes us to want to keep eating it. So that's why it's so hard to stop. That's why it's so hard to stop at one. You have one cookie and you feel like you need another one. You start to feel like you're on that stuff, yo. You start to feel like an addict out here for some cookies. For some cookies. I remember I used to smash a box of Oreos to myself. Teeth looking crazy, cavities. Y'all, these are key things that's telling you that the body is not good for the body. When you eat a lot of junk food, when you have a sweet tooth like I do and you eat junk food and it creates cavities, it's creating holes in your teeth. The same way the synthetic ingredients in these products can lead to visceral fat that causes cancer. Hear what I'm saying? It's not about the food. It's about the mindfulness of the nutrition. A part of doing is becoming more aware, educating yourself, diving into content like this, leaving comments down below to let me know what you struggle with so I can help you to find a solution, right? these things are important, or doing your own research on how you can eat more mindfully or make healthier choices that still taste really good, by the way, because that's important. Some people think that once you take these things out of your diet and if you recreate it to be your own, that it won't taste good. I've been there, y'all. I've tried different diets. I've tried I've tried being vegan before, and not a full vegan, because there's levels to that. But I've tried being vegan before and then found that I really do not enjoy tofu unless it's cooked a certain way, or unless it's made and cut a certain way, right? We have to do our own research, and then we have to experiment for ourselves, and also give things a second try. At least if you try it the first time, like, I'm not gonna hold you. I applaud you if you try something once and you're like, nah, I don't like that. But a lot of the times it's the way that it's made, it's the flavoring that it has, it's the way that it's prepped. It's sometimes even the way that it's shaped and cut. That all of those things matter. All of those things matter. So let's go see what Mama's barking at. So come on, pup. So it's important that we're able to be more educated about nutrition, because 80% of your dream body, of your body goals, is going to be in nutrition. You can't outwork a bad diet. And anyone who tells you that they can, anyone that said that they did, just telling you, they're, first of all, if they have, their metabolism might be extremely fast, that's the case. There's a lot of people who eat a lot of junk food. They're not even interested in being at a dream body weight, eat more mindfully, and they're still thin and slim. You have no idea what the inside of their body looks like, right? Or feels like. That's important. You have no idea what their mindset is. All of these things are connected to nutrition. The way that we think, that hence why certain foods make us sleepy and lethargic, or unbalanced and unable to focus. And nutrient dense foods actually has the opposite effect. We're able to focus better, we're more alert, and we have energy, right? You'll feel the difference from having a bowl of pasta than from having a bowl of salad. Is an extreme difference. And that's a reason, y'all. So the body's communicating what foods are fuel, because remember, food is fuel. Don't forget it. All right. And finally, we've come to our last step. Dun, da, da, da. Leave a comment for me. Let me know what's hitting for you in this conversation. Also, where did I put my rag? Oh. Also, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I am very much interested in helping you to achieve your fitness goals. And if you subscribe, you'll know when I drop the next piece of content. Make sure you hit the notification bell. And if you leave a comment, I'm going to respond to your comment. Whether you have a question or whether you just want to show love, I definitely appreciate that too. Much gratitude to you, boo. And here we go. This is very simple. Faith without works is dead. We talked about mindset, knowing, not believing that you can get to your goal, knowing that you can, you can. Even the woman that I was referencing, is she's over 30, right? So I help a lot of women over the age of 30 to lose weight, with and without kids. Okay. By the way, I help men too. It's just that women, I've always worked in the women's departments. Like I've had over 10 years of retail experience, and that's been in the women's departments. Um, I'm a part of a lovely and have built a women's community. And this is not to say that men are not welcomed, or anyone else who identifies otherwise is not welcomed. This is naturally my community, and I'm very proud and grateful for that. But that woman that I was talking about is actually over the age of 50, whose pants are falling off of her and whose muscle definition is coming in real nice. Yeah. So I again, I want you to know that this is about knowing that you can achieve your dream body goals, doing the actions that it takes to get there, at least what you can, right? No more excuses. You do what you can. And then after you do those two things, you can have You can have your dream body. You can have your dream body. I have my dream body. And what happened is that once I got to my original dream body, well, my happy weight, is that I realized that I had new goals. That usually happens. Okay. Now my new goal is to be able to move really well. I got moving, and that's what helped me to get here. Okay. That's what helped me to get to this third image here. But now I want to move well, meaning that as I continue to age, okay, I'm 38, by the way. This is my 38-year-old body right here. So as I continue to age, what's important to me is that I don't get injured, that I keep my strength, that I'm able to still have grip, that I'm able to do things like getting on and off of the floor, that I'm able to lift things over my head, that I'm able to twist and move without throwing out my back. I've seen it happen in my family, and I've seen it happen for my clients, where if you don't use it, you lose it. So now that's what's important to me, is being able to move very well. So you'll find that you get to one goal and then you actually have another. And that's okay. Fitness is a lifestyle. So you want to have not just your dream body weight, but you want to have the best lifestyle. You want to have the best lifestyle that you could have. You want to have the best chance of still having your strength, still having your power, and still being mobile, especially if you're going to live to a long old age, right? So again, for any women who's my parents out there, my moms, right? You want to watch your kids grow. You want to attend their graduations and their ceremonies and whatever other milestone achievements. You want to feel good when you step out. You want to look good when you step out to these things. You want to be around for these things. You want to have a quality lifestyle. We're in the age where we're actually moving from getting older, meaning that you're going to be in a wheelchair, walking with a cane, or in some other form of fashion, immobile. And that we're moving into a space of where being older means being wiser. It means still being mobile. It means still competing. It means still competing in performances. I don't know if anyone out there has heard of or knows of Hyrox, but if you haven't, look up Hyrox training, Hyrox, and you will see that it is a traveling indoor obstacle course. And it is amazing to watch couples. And I like to call them wiser. I don't really feel like older or elderly fits for just for my vocabulary anymore. Because what is old? I believe it's a feeling. I don't think it has anything to do with age nor wisdom. I know plenty of people in their 70s who are ignorant, just saying. And that's not a shot. Ignorance is the first step actually before awareness. When I say that about wisdom is that wisdom means that you have an openness to learn and to apply. Knowledge is only power when you put it in action. Just like this conversation. What are you going to do about it? Right? What are you going to do to achieve your dream body and in order to have the best lifestyle? The best lifestyle being a quality lifestyle, especially if you're going to live to an old age or a wise age, right? What are you going to do to have that quality lifestyle? Well, you're going to know that you can do it. You're going to replace any limiting beliefs that'll stop you from doing it, and it'll stop any excuses from coming up. You're going to feel vigorously that everything that pertains to the version of yourself that you're becoming and that you put on your vision board this time around, that it's for you and you're happy about it. You're excited for it. You're doing it now. You're not waiting until you have the dream body to do it. That doesn't make sense, right? And then you're going to start to do the actions that it takes to get you there. And you'll be surprised at what comes up along the journey. The people that you meet, the way that your body transforms and changes, the way that your spouse and significant other feels about you. I love hearing these comments from my clients who are like, their partners are seeing their changes. Like, they might not even be recognizing the changes as much, but their partners do, right? Or that their friends and their coworkers are commenting on how the slimness of their face is changing. You'll start to see different areas of your body starts to change what you put in the work. All you have to do is be consistent. That's all is asked of you, is that you are practicing discipline consistently. Okay? And then you can have the best options for a quality lifestyle. Looking good is not as good as feeling good. When you have the two combined, forget about it. When you can walk up a flight of stairs and not feel winded, when you can chase your kids and not fall, when you can affirm yourself that you can look at a piece of clothing and not think, I'm not going to look good in that because I'm not the right weight. No, I'm the right weight. I just don't like that outfit. I just don't like that dress. Or when you could look at an outfit and be like, oh, yeah, that's going to look good on me. That's affirmations that you want to say to yourself from now. That's going to look great on me. So as you look through images in a magazine, for example, even if you don't cut them out, affirm yourself as you look at those images. Cut out the images that make you feel vivaciously in your body that this thing was meant for you, right? Create images of what you would look like in a particular thing or at a particular event. So for busy professionals that I work with who want to feel good when they're speaking on stage or in front of a group of people, right? Buy that suit that doesn't fit now, but will fit in the next few months, especially if you follow my workout program, right? Buy that clothing, buy those jeans. Even if they don't fit now, they're a size 6, but you a size 10. So buy the size 6 and keep it there, knowing that you're going to get to that goal, and as a reminder, right? So it'll help you to actually make better choices that's going to get you further or closer to your goal. So now that you have my be, do, have method, now that you know that as you create your next vision board, that doesn't actually have to be a board, y'all. Like I said, if you're buying pieces of clothing, that is the substitute for having an image on a board, especially if it doesn't actually resonate with you, especially if you don't find a lot of images inside of a magazine that resonates with you. Don't force it. That's not going to work. You have to feel it. Feeling is the secret. Okay? Feeling is the secret. I already would feel how good it would feel to have the compliments for achieving my dream body. Now, the amount of compliments that I get, the things that come up, I'm like, I know that I'm so much closer to the complete goal of this, because it wasn't just about me having the figure. Remember, a part of this that I cut out for my vision board was actually being a fitness model. So that I haven't changed my board because I haven't completed that action yet. So remember, this is not about making up things and changing boards every single year because it's a new year. We're focused on our goals and being being the version of ourselves that we need to be in order to have the complete and full goal, and taking the actions to it. So I've taken all the actions to getting myself physically fit, And now I get to take actions into applying, right? I haven't done that yet. I haven't actually applied to be a fitness model. Remember, it's not going to fall in your lap. Sometimes it does. Sometimes someone walks up to you and says, "Hey, do you mind modeling for me?" And that could still very well happen. But I also need to do, right? Because it's be, do, have. That's the method. So we at least have to do our part, and then the door's open for us. Here's the final step. Do not skip this. It's so important. Find community of like-minded people who's on the same journey. When you don't do things alone, it is less likely for you to drop your vision board and any of your visions that you have for yourself in the first quarter of the year or when the year is halfway through, because your community is going to check in on you to ask how things are going. And then guess what? They're going to hold you accountable, and you need to be honest and answer, or at least you'll want to, or at least if you don't, there's going to be a bit of guilt that comes up for you that you'll have to deal with. Either way, being in a community of like-minded people makes the energy bigger and build so that you gain more momentum in your journey towards your goal. And that's what we want. We want momentum. We want to move from the point of inertia where things aren't moving, and we're going to give that some action. So that gives it, our inspired action is the only force that we're giving. And then we're able to carry more of that action through momentum. So that's why people go to a gym, because there's other people there working out, not because the gym makes it better. I actually think traditional gyms are out of style and outdated and needs to change and will change. I know that. I'm actually working on that. That's also one of my goals. Maybe I could just add that to my vision board. Okay? So that's going to change, because it's not about the workout equipment is there. This body that I built on the far right here was mostly done at home. As you can see, I'm in my yard here, and I have my beach wear on here. So I'm still wearing beach wear here because I was going to the beach here. Or maybe I came home from the beach. It's one of the two. I might have just come home for the beach from this. I can't even remember this summer. I went to the beach a couple times. And I did a workout. I did a quick workout in my beach gear here. So I did that at home. That's what I'm saying. I did it from my yard. That's the whole point of me mentioning that. So you don't need a gym, and you actually don't need a lot of equipment, and you don't need to know a whole lot. All of what I told you today suffice. But what you do need is community. You need like-minded people. I've gotten to my goal because of like-minded people. It's important to me as a fitness trainer to also be in shape as well. That is still my community. That's still my people. I am still doing that, not just for myself. The additional benefit is to do it for my community. And not all coaches are like that. You might even find that a lot of coaches, especially if you look at um professional athletes, their coaches are overweight. Sometimes I look at boxing coaches and they're almost obese. Just being honest. But they're training athletes who perform really well, because it's not about the knowledge and experience. They have that, but they're just not doing it for themselves. But how much more value do you think that they can actually create, or how much more business do you think they could actually generate if they were to be in shape for themselves? Just saying, sometimes you don't know until you try. So, nonetheless, I actually have a fitness community for you. If you are not a part of a fitness community, I'd like to invite you. So, what you're going to do is you're going to click the link down below, and I'm going to send you an invite to my WhatsApp fitness community built by community. What I'm also going to offer you is a group coaching session. If you have a dream body goal for the year 2026, we're going to meet virtually and talk about your goals. I'm going to address everyone in that room, or address all the goals in that room, and I'm going to coach you on how to get there. You're going to be a part of a community of like-minded people who is focused on their health. And I guarantee that you will get so much closer to your goal in this community than you would without this community. So, with that being said, go ahead and click on the links down below. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when I drop content that's like this one. All right, y'all. I see you in the next one. Peace.